want your soul.
Amy Stamatis was a 49-year-old wife, mother, regular churchgoer who awoke to go to her shift just like any other day. Amy was headed to her shift at the Baptist Health Medical Center in Little Rock, Arkansas. She got to work and headed straight for her patients. One of her last patients that day was a burn victim. After she had finished up with writing her patient's report, she returned to her workstation. Not long after, she found herself wandering the halls of the hospital. As a fog came over her, it was just like everything had been forgotten. All of her skills and all of her knowledge of her everyday job lost, forgotten. She was a marathon runner. She no longer knew how to do any of that. Amy sought out a psychiatrist who had prescribed her antidepressants. Amy had seen many doctors, which had attributed her concerns to things like schizophrenia, epilepsy, even a very rare chemical imbalance. Amy's demeanor and personality changed. She began to do things that she never thought she would have done, such as being in public, stripping down, and screaming at her friends. Amy would then climb a 7-story parking ramp and try to jump, but the police had talked her down. With the voices still haunting Amy, she went home, and a few months later, in November of 2006, Amy tried again. This time from her own home, jumping from the 2nd-story window and succeeding. This decision left Amy paralyzed. For 7 whole months, Amy heard voices and whispers of suggestion. These voices told her to kill herself. She had been searching so long for help. While in the hospital recovering, Amy was visited by a woman. She had heard about her story. Her name was Cindy Lawson. She was a Pentecostal evangelist.
I was in church on Sunday morning. I go at 8 o'clock. And there was an announcement that Amy Stamatis had fallen or something had happened, but she'd fallen out of her window and was in critical care unit in Baptist Hospital. And, they were telling the situation about how bad she was. And the Lord just spoke to me and said, I want you to go, and I want you to lay hands on her and cast the demon out of her, and I'm going to raise her up. So I didn't even know Amy.
Cindy told Amy she's sure she's battling demons. Cindy said that she has seen this before. She's performed at least 10 exorcisms. She could feel something churning, claiming the Lord spoke to her and told her to cast those demons out. Lawson's first exorcism was a 9-year-old boy who she said she saw levitate during the ritual. She has also seen people's eye colors change right before her eyes, people foam at the mouth, speak in demonic voices. But she knew if God called her to do this, that he would protect her.
Then, we walked into the room, and Amy was propped up in the bed with all kinds of wires and things. And the minute I walked into the room, that demon placed his eyes on me and never took his eyes off of me and just glared at me as if he would have killed me if he could have. Over to the left-hand side of Amy, her friend in front of me, and she grabbed Amy's hand and she said, hey, baby, she said, I have brought a friend with me. She's a prayer warrior, and she's going to pray for you. And when still holding her hand, when she said that, that's when the demon spoke in it sounded to me like a man's voice, in a very deep voice, and said, why are you here? Kind of like that. I the oil out of my purse and I walked around onto the other side of the bed. And as I said, from the moment I stepped to the door of the room, that demon never took his eyes off of me. He followed me every step that I took. But I just laid my hand on her head and I said, in the name of Jesus Christ, I command that you come out of her, that you loose her, that she comes to her right mind, and you will not enter her again. And I took my hands off of her. And when I took my hands off of her, you could see Amy's whole eye, her eyes, her countenance, everything about her changed immediately.
Amy had not recalled anything that had happened. She didn't remember jumping. She didn't remember the exorcism. But her family, they saw and witnessed it all. Was that the end of Amy's story? We don't know. Has Amy truly been saved? Or is the demon simply hiding? Until next time, thanks for watching.